Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Today I'm just going to be doing some chores. Haven't been feeling very well, so wasn't really up to making any new content right now. I have a lot of content that needs to be edited, so this is the kind of stuff that you don't get to see on all the fancy YouTube channels. We all do not have studio kitchens where we can just keep changing the camera and everything looks exactly the same. So usually before I make videos, if I wasn't able to wash dishes due to not feeling good, I would have to get up early in the morning and wash them before I'd make my video. So today's just one of those days. The only problem is I didn't feel like making a video, so I'm going to show you what I have to do regardless of if I make a video or not. Whenever you don't get to washing those dishes and you live in a small house, those dishes still have to be done. So I catch water in a dish tub. I guess you could call it dish drain, dish tub, whatever. I don't like to just run the water constantly while I'm washing dishes. I like to just rinse them in the old-fashioned dish pan. That's what it's called, dish pan. When the weather's yucky like it is, it definitely wreaks havoc on my health. Those of you that have had any kind of spinal injuries or old injuries, you would completely understand when the weather changes. It's pretty rough. My sink is really cool, y'all. I bought it, I don't know if it was online or if it was like an online thrift store or something like that, like a swap shop or something. But it has the 3 little sinks like you'd see in a chef's kitchen. We have gotten so spoiled to having this little spot in the center. I don't think we'd ever be able to go with just a traditional type of sink anymore. And I believe we looked up this sink online to see how much it was. And it was like over a $2,000 sink. And I want to say I think I paid like $75 for it. Our original plan was we were looking for some land and we were actually buying a house in Kentucky. And it was an old Amish farm. And you know, the Amish take their sinks and their buffet bars and all their stuff like that with them whenever they leave. They don't make anything permanent in the house if they can move it. So we knew we were going to have a sink. So we found this one and we bought it. Oh, long story short, we wasn't able to make the move. I had gotten in another car accident right after I had my neck surgery. So I wasn't sure of how my health was going to be, and I wasn't comfortable with switching doctors and going through all that rigmarole. So we were able to get out of the house loan that we had just got in on a hardship, since I had just been in a car accident and totaled out my car. So who knows? Sometimes God's plan is better than our plan. No, I don't dry my dishes off. All of my counters and cabinets are just shelving, because it was a lot cheaper to just put up shelving than it was to build cabinets. And this little house where I live was originally the guest house on the homestead. A place where my father had lived for almost 20 years. Actually, I think it was 15 years he lived here in this same little house. And we have since remodeled it. And then I decided that I wanted to live in it and stay here on the homestead as well. So that's kind of what we did. So we have the other house, and we just have it for an extra income. We had decided that we have wanted to downsize and become even more frugal than what we even were before. And all of this being frugal is new to my husband. As y'all know, we haven't been married all that long, but he seems to be very eager and very interested in doing this type of living and this type of lifestyle. So it just worked out pretty good for us. And I can tell you, living in a small house, it's definitely not a tiny house, but it's a very small house. You can't really leave anything out of place or out of order, because if you do, then you won't have any room for anything else to be done in the house. So, just like with a big house, if you have a dirty kitchen, you're not going to be wanting to cook nothing because there's lots of stuff in your way. So one thing for sure, since we've moved into the little small house, that you definitely have to stay on top of things and keep things picked up. We do plan on adding on to it eventually. Just haven't been able to do that just yet, but not too far off in the future. I know this probably isn't going to be a very exciting video for most people, but hey, this is part of it. This is what I would be doing before I make my cooking videos, making sure that my kitchen is all cleaned up. So I've told y'all before on my channel that I like to keep it real, straightforward, cut up a little bit and have fun sometimes, but this is really just to share the journey of my life here on the homestead. And I think it's fun, and it's good to share your story with others so that you might could inspire others and help others. And just to leave a living journal for your grandchildren or your family members after you're long passed on. Because you know, when people die, their story kind of ends. Of course, we all still have great memories of our loved ones after they're gone, but I just always keep thinking how nice it would have been to see just everyday life from family members, from generations from before. You know, that was before technology time, but it's just such a nice thought to think about how neat that would have been, just seeing our grandparents or great-grandparents, how they did things and how they lived. I would find that quite interesting. I think some of my other subscribers would too. Sure, there's lots of things that some of us can do to get more likes and get more attention on our channel, but to me that's not really what it was all about. It's never been about that. It's just been about sharing some things that I know to try to help others and inspire others. And if people enjoyed my content, that was wonderful. And if they didn't, I would hope that they're just mature enough to stop the video and go find something more interesting to watch. And on my channel, I share a lot of frugal tips. And just because I am frugal does not mean that I am poor. I don't consider myself poor by no means. I just find different ways to get things that I like and things that I need. I'm actually extremely blessed in many ways, and I like to share some of those blessings and tips with others to help them learn some things. Do y'all do that? Try to get that drain board as high as you can, and then you have to stop and put everything up where it goes? I tend to do that sometimes. But then I have to just stop and cook things up. And yes, old-fashioned, washing them dishes in the sink. That's what I prefer. Of course, I'm going to be tired of hearing the word frugal, but I think that it's a lot easier to just wash your own dishes than to load up a dishwasher. I think it's great if you enjoy that convenience, but by the time you do everything you have to do to get the dishwasher ready, I honestly could already have my dishes washed up in no time. So that's what I do. I just wash them up. And then on days that I don't feel like doing it, I'll just wait a day or two. You know, I'm human just like everybody else. They'll still be there waiting on you whenever you get ready to wash them. I can promise you that, because nobody's knocking my door down to help me do chores whenever I don't feel good. And that's part of being a homesteader. You're kind of just on your own, especially once your kids are grown and left home. That's just kind of how it is. But the blessing of all of these dirty dishes means we have had something to eat. So that is a blessing. It's all in how you look at it. No need to be aggravated because you got a sink full of dishes to wash. That is actually a blessing. That means you had something to eat and your family had something to eat. So don't be so hasty whenever you think about washing dishes that it's just one of them aggravating chores. Yeah, there are days when it is aggravating, but it's just part of life. We do save the Gatorade bottles and refill them so we can carry them out all over the homestead if we're working. We don't always fill it back up with Gatorade. Sometimes it's sweet tea, lemonade. Just makes it handy. And I just wash them out really good. And then we refill them and stick them in the fridge. Much cheaper to do that than to buy a bottled Gatorade. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the dishes. I think it's been long enough on this little video. Hope everybody's doing good, staying well, getting excited about the holidays, and remember the real true reason for Christmas and why we should celebrate it in the first place. So I hope everyone is doing good. I'll be back probably on Friday with a new video. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.